The world is headed into 2025 with a mix of good and bad news. Isn't that always the case? Not really. 2023 and 2024 were immediate post-pandemic years of economic instability and partial recovery. In 2025, some economies are expected to walk up the upward trajectory, others are struggling with issues like high prices and slowing demand. What does this mean for global markets? How will India and other big economies perform in 2025? And what about developing countries? This is Quick Take, your quick guide. I'm Smita Prakash. What's the global outlook? The World Bank's Global Economic Prospects report gives us an idea of what to expect. Global growth is expected to stay steady at 2.7% in 2025-26, which is quite slow. As per the IMF, global growth is projected at 3.3%, both in 2025 and 2026, below the historical 2019 average of 3.7%. Economic uncertainty appears to be the biggest factor determining the path that countries take in 2025. Impact of COVID-19, rising prices and political tensions are still affecting developed countries like the US and those in Europe. Close to 60 countries had elections in 2024. Hence, there's some uncertainty due to the likely shift in policies around the world, especially the US and some in Europe. For example, if mass deportations begin in the US following President Trump's immigration policy promise, it will impact on the US economy. As per some forecasters, the sudden disappearance of available labor will be severely felt in industries like agriculture, construction, and hospitality, which to a great extent rely on undocumented workers. The US Department of Agriculture estimates that 41% of crop farm workers are undocumented. Food production will go up. That means that food products will cost more. The bright spot. India is set to be the fastest growing major economy in the world. Its economy is expected to grow by about 6.7% in both FY26 and FY27, significantly surpassing the global growth forecast of 2.7%. This growth is powered by a strong services sector, better manufacturing, and government initiatives like the Gati Shakti National Master Plan and Startup India Plan. Emerging economies and challenges. India isn't the only country making progress. Developing economies, known as emerging markets and developing economies, EMDEs, now make up 45% of the world's GDP compared to 25% in 2000. Countries like India, China, and Brazil have contributed to 60% of global growth since 2000. These countries are also home to 85% of the world's population, showing their massive role in the global economy. Here's another important fact. Developing countries received 21% of global investments between 2019 and 2023, a big jump from just 6% in the early 2000s. Not all countries are faring well. Some are grappling with significant challenges such as declining exports, mounting debt, political instability, and ongoing conflicts. Countries like Turkey, Ukraine, Greece, Italy, and Sri Lanka may experience slower growth due to these persistent issues. The China factor. China, India's closest competitor, is expected to grow much slower, just 4% in 2025. This is because of problems in its real estate market and lower demand from other countries. With China slowing down, countries like India are becoming even more important for global economic stability. The global economy. The global economy is going through tough times, and even India, despite its strong growth, is feeling the pressure. Rising prices, global uncertainties, and a slowdown in exports have affected India's progress. The GDP growth has dipped to 5.4%, the lowest in 7 quarters. Boardrooms are grappling with the fact that investment recovery is slow, even though the projected growth rate for India is 6.7%, where many economies are struggling to grow beyond 2 to 3%. Thanks to growing industries and rising investments, Indonesia and Vietnam are also becoming strong players in their regions. Despite political challenges, Brazil continues to be a major exporter of food and other goods. In conclusion, as per many markers, global economic activity is expected to maintain modest momentum in 2025 with GDP growth at around 3.1%. But global economic outlook is of desynchronized growth patterns across regions.